And unfortunately, you have touched on the inevitable necessary connection to politics, because more and more I'm starting to understand just how much the two have gotten tied together, and therefore how much the polarization and the brokenness and the extreme tribalism, I mean extreme tribalism, to the degree that people from the left and the right are not willing to communicate. They blame each other for everything. There have been recent events where I've noticed, for example, that, as absurd as this may sound, both sides are determined to rack up a catalog of how all the violence comes from the other side, all the shootings, all the protests gone violent. Everything is just the other tribe. And I think that mentality, as broken as it is in politics, then also dovetails into religion, because people can no longer, I don't think people can separate the two any longer.
Well, I mean, I think another thing that you kind of touched on, though, which I think factors into our original point of Gen Z having less experience as kids growing up, the unwillingness to talk amongst the two parties and spread ideas could also spark a little more intrigue for people who might have an interest in religion who don't have a religious background, and that might open the door for a more objective entry point to Christianity than it otherwise would have if somebody had grown up in a Catholic church or a Baptist church or Protestant. So there's multiple different ways that this could be looked at and analyzed. But I do think that you're right, where we've just gotten to a point in society where tribalism has taken over, and that's affected many parts of our culture, religion not being excluded from that. And really, in many cases, it's been exemplified with people's individual religious beliefs.
Yeah, and the there are plenty of secular people I've encountered at UWM who are still willing to discuss religion, to be clear. And the interesting thing is that they are so, honestly, one of the saddest things that happened since, because we're recording this, by the way, in February of 2026, for anyone listening in the future. And so this is a little more than a year since Trump took office the second time. We're absolutely not going into Trump, but just to say that
Sir.
I have at least one, maybe several liberal friends who, in reaction to this administration, have become radicalized to such a degree that I don't know that they're even willing to talk about religion anymore when they used to be willing to. And that's very sad.
Tribalism really is the key word here, because it's gotten to the point where people have such an unwillingness to even touch on something that could be perceived as linked to the other party, something that they're not affiliated with, because they feel like they're going to get labeled as somebody on the other side. It's completely disrupted the concept of free thinking.